just had the chat a minute ago, so it'll be interesting to see. Yeah, I am repeating, John. Let me just check too on here. Let me just refresh this page. Also want to go to the photography videography school as well. Make sure that's showing. Guys, if you don't want to watch this, that's fine. The beginning bit, I'll put down in the link down below exactly when we start. Let me just go to a new page, new window. I'm just going to see if I can go to Facebook and check if it's streaming live there. Let me go photography, videography. Oh, yeah, it is. It's showing there, actually. So it is. It's working and it's live. Yeah, there, testing. Yeah, it is. It still says testing, though. Why does it say that? I don't know. That's weird. Pop in and find out that it's live. Let me just check on. Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. I'll have to work out how to change that. I'll probably change it at the end of the stream. I'm curious where it comes up, though. That's what I thought that I changed in the title. Can I change it here? Update all. Does that update it? Let me go back. No, I don't think it does. Apple V, update all. Yeah, it doesn't look like it does. I wanted it to mention about the new Canon. Oh, there it does. It's right now. Okay, so I've got it. All right, so it's cool now. Yep. All right, beautiful. Yeah, because I want to talk. I'm just going to give it a couple of minutes for a few people to get in. How does everything sound and everything else? Does it all look okay? I'm using Restream, so if Langston does pop back in, this is an Ecamm, Langston. This is Restream. Let me just see too if I can bring that chat back up so I can see it again. There. Now, I'm just waiting for some Facebook people to come in. If guys, if you are on Facebook, I'm just going to copy this address and stick it in so that you'll be able to, I'll know who you are. Let me have a look again. Let me go back to here. And is that now live? Just got to see if it updates on Facebook. It might only update on YouTube. Yeah, I think it does. I think it only updates on YouTube. Let me put a comment in, and if you subscribe to this, if you haven't done it, it's free. All it will do, it just links your Facebook page to me, so I'll know who's coming in on Facebook as well. So that's a good thing as well. So let me just check who's here. I'm just going to give it a couple of minutes, and then I'll start discussing it, guys, because it's really interesting, this announcement from Canon. So I'm sort of looking at that announcement now, so I thought I'd go through it with you all together. People are saying repeating. I love it. See, Facebook user is down there, and you come up as a Facebook user unless you click on that link that I put in the stream. So please click on the link on the stream, and then it will tell me who you are. And it shows me your icon from Facebook as well. So we get, the best of both worlds here. Like John actually said here that it looks good and sounds great, which is terrific. Sounds and looks great. So that's great. What else have we just got in? That's interesting because Mark came up there, but I can't see him down here. Who is that? Must be because I restarted it again. Yeah, I'm not sure. See how it says Facebook user? Now that's because you haven't clicked on that link that I've put in there as well. Now I don't think I can do it from here, can I? No, that's just made it large. I love it. Facebook user there said I'm Chelsea Northrop. Oh my God. Mark there is saying actually, well, if talk about the R3, then you'll have to bring up the 400 and 600 lenses they just brought out. I'll probably talk about that maybe tomorrow with Aaron. So I'll probably do that then at this. This won't be very long today because I've got a show with Aaron tomorrow morning where he'll be discussing his Sony A7C lenses that he uses and things like that. And we may even discuss this a little bit too. But the announcement just came through to me from B&H. So I thought I'd take you through what we know so far. So that's what this is all about. Like I said, I'm just waiting at this stage for a few people to know that I'm on live, and then we'll start. If you are coming in later than this, I will put in the timeline down below the exact point that we start the show. So I just want to give it a few minutes before we actually start, just so we can sort of get more people in, which might be interesting to you all. A little bit of news too about this. I have got cancer. I'm staying positive. It's only, well, I shouldn't say it's only, it's a squamous cell carcinoma. So I am having to go to a surgeon. They're trying to get me in urgently now to see once. Hopefully I'll get in this week or early next week. I have to get a much larger cut taken out, and then they're going to do a skin graft. So the joys of the Australian sun. So I might be wearing this hat for a while if I've got this massive cutout on my head, but I'm not letting it get me down. You have to stay positive, and at least it's it's not melanoma, which my mother had and died from. So that's what I was worried about. So let me just click off that. Now, why doesn't it show in the chat still coming through? That's weird. It must be because I stopped it. Because I'm only seeing, oh yeah, it's still coming through. It's just slow now. I think if you quit the chat part, it disappears on my end. Let me just check down here as well. Yes, the R3 leaked. I've got it all over the map. So I'm going to talk about that now, so we can have a discussion about that as well. Resteam, I just put testing in, so it's just showing that it's me there. So another minute or so, and then I'll get started. I'll just take it through. I mean, people probably will come in and look at this later on anyway. So how do you like my little logo? The little logo down the bottom left-hand corner sort of matches me at the moment, doesn't it, with my hat? If I tilt this way. Oh, I love it. It looks cool. I just need to tilt a little bit. What else have we got? Wishing you a speedy recovery. Thank you so much, Sting. No, I'm sure I'll be okay. I mean, it is what it is. Can't do anything about it. So it is what it is. The joys of the Australian summer. All right. So I think we will get started, because people may pop in a little bit later on, because I want to go through this little article. Like I said, I might even discuss it a little bit tomorrow. So let me just share my screen. Go here, and I want to go to there. Now, where is it? It's this one, I think. No, it's not. It's this one. Share. And let me just make it so it's a bit bigger. All right. So look, there's a few announcements all over the place talking about this. So I just thought that I'd bring it up and have a chat with you all about it. But it's interesting. I thought it was going to be the R1 was going to be announced first, but it looks like it's going to be this EOS R3. I still think they'll probably bring out the R1 maybe before the Olympics, although now that's getting fairly close. So I'm not sure. But this is a really interesting announcement, because this is an older camera that was used a while ago that was sort of in between the 1DX sort of line and the others. I'll talk about it as we come down. So it was a different type of camera, but it has some incredible features inside it. So they're calling it the EOS R3. And they're saying it packs next generation dual pixel AF, a stacked BSI sensor, 30 frames per second shooting, and eye control focus. This is the part that really is interesting, is this eye control focus, because they did have that similar on this camera years ago, and I'll talk about that. They're mentioning that, but because I'm not sure how that was even possible. But anyway, I'll talk about some stuff down below. But it's saying that you can look through the viewfinder, but just wait. So this is the camera itself here. I really like it. I think it actually looks beautiful. I think the body design is gorgeous if you look at body designs as such in cameras. I love the round sort of way it sort of goes around here with the EVF. There's not a massive sort of bump there. It'll be built like a tank, as this is more their high-ended camera. But they're saying it's not going to replace the A1 though. So that's the R1. So that's interesting. But we'll look down and see what they're saying through here. They're actually saying that Canon has announced the development of the EOS R3, a professional camera aimed at sports and news photographers. So it isn't aimed at those professional photographers. So they're definitely saying that it's not a base camera that's being released here. And they're also saying that it will boast 30 frames per second continuous shooting, a brand new stacked backside illuminated sensor is in it as well, and the next generation dual pixel CMOS AF and eye control function autofocus. And this is the part that really gets me interested. Langston, this is not eCam. You could use this on a PC as well, because this is just this is Restream IO. So it's using a web-based interface. So this isn't eCam. No, this is Restream. So check it out. It's just called Restream IO. Let me just hide that for a minute. Let me close this too. Now, let's have a look. So it's saying down here too that this sits between the digital SLR flagship cameras. This is the EOS 1DX Mark III and the current top-of-the-line mirrorless camera. So it sort of fits in between those two cameras. And looking at the specs so far, it will take aim at the new Sony A1. Now, they're not really giving what resolution this is and things like that. We've got to wait for that yet. But it is an interesting release in what they're saying it's going to have. Like the 30 frames per second, looks like it's going to be amazing and sort of match the A1. The autofocus is probably going to be superb. We know already that the Canon is unbelievable if you're dealing with autofocus, particularly if you're dealing with animal autofocus. It works much better than the Sony equivalent, particularly if you're looking at with the eye and things like that. And even locking on, the Canon tends to lock on a little bit better with the tracking than what the Sonys do. Let's keep going down. They're saying important speed stakes, which are a defining feature of the best cameras in sports photography. A headline feature which matches the A1 is the 30 frames per second burst shooting with full AE tracking. So in other words, you can do it with minimal rolling shutter, they're saying. Now, we don't know what sort of speed this is going to be. Will it match the A1 and the A9s? We don't know yet, but it's interesting. Remember, this is only a pre-release. So at this stage, we have to sort of say, okay, we're hoping that it's good. So, let's not get carried away until we see actually how this is. But I would expect if it's a completely new sensor and they're pushing this towards those sports photographers and wildlife, I think the rolling shutter probably will be very, very well controlled. Let's keep going down. It's saying it's got blisteringly fast speed readouts to minimize the distortion. And it says here, clearly naming the clearly naming it the way it has indicates that this is not the direct mirrorless equivalent of the 1DX Mark III. That's still to come. So that's going to be the R1, which they're still talking about coming out later on. And they're saying that they think it will probably come out later on in the year. The Canon tells us that the R3 will feature one series performance. So in other words, it's going to have the same performance as what a 1 series camera would have. So that's interesting. So I suppose it's possibly like an A9 II and the A1. When the R1 comes out, it's probably going to be a fraction better in what it does, because that'll be their flagship camera. But this one is going to be very, very close. And probably or possibly match what the A1 has now. But like I said, Sony will bring out another one as well. What's it saying here? And indeed, it possesses the same physical form factor as what the A1, we believe that will be. So it's the same form factor as that, with the built-in vertical grip, and has therefore been exclusive to the flagship digital SLRs. So this body at this stage has only been available in the digital SLR realm. So it's now going to be available on the mirrorless for the first time. So it's the professional type body that you're dealing with it. Now, this part was interesting because they said here, so why call it the EOS R3? We have a Canon EOS R5 and obviously the R6, just as we had the Canon EOS 5D and the EOS 6D, but there was never an EOS 3D. However, and this is the interesting part, in the pre-digital era, there was an EOS 3. And not only did it just sit below the EOS 1 as a professional camera, and this is what I don't understand, and someone in the chat may be able to help me with this later, but they're saying here that it also possessed Canon's eye control focus. And how would that have worked if it was a digital SLR? I'm not sure how that fits. So, yeah, I'm not quite certain how that goes. But there's some incredible things in this, because it's saying here that it has also resurrected and redefined the technology now called eye control function. So this is brilliant. If this works, this really is going to be a game changer. It is described as an AF control system ready for the 21st century, which enables you to select and move the AF point by looking through the viewfinder. So in other words, wherever you look, so it must be like what the pilots use in their jets. When you look at whatever you're trying to find another jet or whatever, your targets and everything go with you. So it follows you around. So it must be using eye tracking technology and checking what you're looking at. So this sounds unbelievable. I mean, it really is exciting, actually. They're saying this next generation version of the auto focus tech allows for ultra intuitive control in the most demanding professional situations. If an AF system that follows the movement of your eyes seems a little spooky to you, the Canon EOS R3 also features an updated version of the faithful dual pixel AF2 seen in the 1DX Mark III, R5 and R6. In other words, it's a great AF that really is terrific already. They're just saying we're still probably going to get an R1 available in the new year. Late this year, whether it's for the Olympics or not. The only thing we know on the specs so far with this is it has a back illuminated stacked CMOS sensor. It's got a new DigicX processor, 30 frames per second, continuous shooting with AE tracking, and that's looking through that viewfinder as well, head and body detection, eye control autofocus, next generation dual pixel CMOS AF, and EOS 1D levels of durability, dust and water resistance. And you can see that if you look at the body, that's without the lens on and that's with the lens on. I mean, I think it's actually, really quite a beautiful looking camera. Now, there we go. So I think this is really interesting. Particularly, I'm dying to see how that new autofocus works for when you're looking inside. I have seen a number of reviewers sort of say using the A1 and also the R5 with the autofocus on it, and it seems to be that the R5 holds the eye autofocus a fraction better, that if you turn away, the Sony cameras can lose that. It is really sticky, but I have seen it where when you turn away, it just loses that eye a little bit, whereas the Canons seem to lock on, and they definitely have an advantage when they are dealing with wildlife. It will certainly work much better if you're trying to track the eyes on all different wildlife. The Sony can be really particular about what it works with, where, this looks amazing. And if it has that brilliant autofocus as well as this eye auto tracking focus, how exciting. I mean, it looks like it's going to be a real winner, and I can't wait to see what happens with it. There's really not much more that, I wanted to discuss with this. I just wanted to sort of come on and go through this with you, and just to talk about how exciting it is. It says non-removable battery grip makes the camera bulky and can't be broken down. It does, Mark, but the sports shooters love that type of camera. They love that big beefy thing that, if you're holding massive lenses, it's really nice to use this. They're targeting this at sports and wildlife users. So I think the all-in battery, or the grip and everything, the way it's built in like this, is much more robust than having a separate one. It'd be far better waterproof and things like that. So that's probably why they've gone down that way. I want the Canon R3. Also, the design is the best. I had the IAF analog. Yeah, I wonder how that's the confusing thing. I'm not sure how that works, but it is an interesting concept, that's for sure. And it's exciting. And imagine now with dual pixel how good that system is going to be. Who else have we got here? Rick saying, hey, Dave. Hi, all. I think the carbon look is the new design of all the new releases of Canon cameras. Yeah, maybe. I like it, though. I think it looks really nice, really neat, actually. Eye control was amazing on EOS 3 as well. We've got there. You should move the focus points by moving your eye. You could move, yes, that's exactly right. So in other words, whatever you're looking at is going to be moving that focus point to tracking that. So it's fantastic. So if a bride was walking on the left-hand side or whatever, you could just look over in that direction in the EVF and it will track that person. And wow, I mean, it looks and sounds fantastic if it works well. It really does. It works for sure. The IF of 20 years ago, they had it. I also had that camera. Let's keep going down. Stephen said the autofocus on the R6 is so good. I can't imagine improving on that. Yeah, it is. The R6 look, let's be really honest here. The autofocus of all the latest cameras is incredible. Whether you're talking about the Nikon, whether you're talking about Sony, whether you're talking about Canon, Fuji, Olympus, the autofocus on all of them now is just amazing. This has something now that's different. With that tracking from the inside of the EVF, it definitely has something that could make it stand out from the others. So I think that's really interesting. Canon is gunning for Sony. They have the stacked sensors now. Yeah, we just got to wait and see how good that is. It'll be interesting to find out just how good the actual stacked sensor is. What, 6,524 megapixel? Have they said the price already, Rick? I haven't seen the price yet. It will be 4,500 United States dollars or so, we're saying here. I mean, there's not much more. Like I said, there's not much more I wanted to discuss at this stage. I just really wanted to talk to you about this release and how exciting that one feature is alone. And it's a great thing for Canon shooters. Remember, I always am about innovation, and I love Sony being pushed. And I think this is something also that could push Sony as well if it's implemented great. And we have to wait for that to see how it actually does work in real life scenarios. But I've got a feeling, I'm pretty confident the way that the Canon's focused now, that the whole system will work very, very well. And if it is a better autofocus system than the R6 and the R5, boy, are they going to be on a winner. And with the 30 frames per second, as long as they can hold off with the rolling shutter on that and match what they're doing with the, say, the A9 series and the A1s, I think Canon is going to have a real winner on its hands. So that's about all I wanted to discuss today, guys. I'm going to log off because I've got so much to do. But if you can, watch us tomorrow. I'll be on live with Aaron at 8 p.m. New York time tomorrow for our usual show. We couldn't do it today because I went back to the doctor about my skin cancer. So we'll be back on tomorrow to do that. So apart from that, everyone, I'll see you tomorrow with Aaron and then for the live show on Friday US time. Catch you all later. Bye.